Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.
Hello and welcome to the latest edition of NEWSWAVE, written, produced and recorded in the heart of Cornwall by the team here at Chaos Radio. I'm your host, Tom Howe, and I'll be guiding you through some of the insightful guests and exciting news content that we've enjoyed across Chaos Radio this past week. Now, on today's show, we join Zara Shoesmith out and about across Cornwall for the first part of our review of the People in Mind Mental Health Roadshow, a series of conversations that shine a light on mental health support and lived experience this Mental Health Awareness Week. Aside from that, we check in with Cheryl Gordon for a special interview with singer-songwriter Beth, better known online as Voice from the Wild. Beth talks us through her musical journey, how she built a fan base through TikTok, and even treats us to a live performance. We'll move on then to celebrate a major milestone for Young and Talented Cornwall, a brilliant organisation that's just marked 20 years of empowering the Duchy's next generation of artists, athletes, scientists and much more besides. Meah Howlett is joined by Programme Coordinator Sarah Waller and award recipient Isla to reflect on the impact of the fund. Finally this week, we meet two local men, John and Dave, who are cycling over 200 miles on a tandem bike in the Ride for Precious Lives 2025, raising funds for Children's Hospice South West in memory of John's twin sons, Reuben and Bryn. NEWSWAVE. Okay, first up, Zara Shoesmith takes us to day one of the People in Mind Mental Health Roadshow, a community-powered journey across Cornwall, connecting people with support and lived experience around mental health and well-being. Local musician Warwick Addison was one of the first to stop by and share his own perspective.
NEWSWAVE.
But right now I'd like to introduce you to my next guest. I've got the lovely Warwick with me. Hi, Warwick.
Hello, Zara. How are you?
Not too bad, thank you. Before we go into why I've invited you down today, tell us a little bit about you.
About me? Well, I'm a retired gentleman. I've played in bands locally for lots and lots of years. Guitarist and singing. I'm in a band at the moment called Smoking Caterpillars.
And they are great, by the way. Look
Thank
out
you.
for them. I've seen them the other day. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, shout out to them. Band practice tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to know about this song?
Yes, so I've invited you down today. You've written a lovely song about Cornwall. Tell us what's inspired it.
What's inspired it was, Nick Dunstan is an old friend of mine I've worked with for many years. Wrote a poem about Cornwall, his love of Cornwall. I saw this poem and thought it ran like a song, sort of verse, chorus, etc. So I asked Nick if he minded if I put some music to it and turn it into a song. He said, yeah, go for it, fill your boots. So I did that. It turned out quite well. He was really pleased with it. Mm-hmm. So then I got some other local musicians to join me in the studio and do a professional recording of it. Yes. I've just been informed today, believe it or not, that it's been approved by the moderators of the distribution company. So as of today, it's starting to be distributed, the full version, on all your favourite platforms like Spotify, Deezer, YouTube Music, etc.
And here in Cornwall, we're very patriotic and we love a good song about Cornwall. Now, that sounds absolutely fantastic. Can you tell us a little bit about what the lyrics, mean?
Well, really, that's Nick's department, really. It's about our love of Cornwall. The sea, the land, the history, tin mining, fishing, all the other Cornish industries of the past, which are mostly gone now, I'm afraid.
But I can hear that song being played once it's well known, on St Piran's Day, all of our kind of patriotic events. That's going to be a classic for sure.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Absolutely. But there's something extra special about this song, Warwick. Tell us
there
about
is,
that.
yeah. We're going to donate any profits to local mental health charities. like
George's
help
voice.
me. Yeah, George's voice. Yeah, nerves, terrible. Yeah, George's voice, and later on a PTSD charity. George's voice is very close to Nick's heart, my co-writer, obviously.
Yeah.
And PTSD is very close to me because my ex-forces, so.
Yeah, so there's, we don't need an excuse to listen to a great song about the love of Cornwall. But if you do need an excuse to download that and maybe pay a little premium for it, what better way than to support local mental health charities as well?
Yeah. Obviously, it's only a fraction of £1 per stream or download. And it only counts if you play it for more than 30 seconds.
Right.
So please listen to the whole thing.
I mean, you're going to need to listen to that. I mean, we've just had, that was only 55 seconds, and I wanted to hear more already, Warwick. So I don't think when people start playing it, they're going to turn it off.
Yeah, excellent. I hope you're right.
Well, remind us again what it's called and where we can find it.
Cornwall, the Golden Land. And as of today and over the next 7 to 14 days, it'll be distributed to all your favourite downloading streaming services such as Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc.
Brilliant. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming in and telling us all about it. The best of luck. I look forward to finding out how it's going and, the money that you are donating in the coming months as we go along.
It'll all be out there. It'll all be public and documented. So, hopefully. But as you know, it's only a fraction of a pound per download.
So get downloading, get listening.
Take some time.
NEWSWAVE.
Next, Zara meets Lorna from Cornwall Mind in Liskeard, who shares more about the services on offer and how they're helping people in the local area.
NEWSWAVE.
If you're just joining me, this is Zara. I am on the road as part of Mental Health Awareness Week, all week, and we're in Liskeard today. And I've got the lovely Lorna from Cornwall Mind. She's going to be here with us all day. Hi, Lorna.
Hello, Zara.
Thank you for coming out and sparing some of your time to come and join us today. I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Cornwall Mind, but for those who haven't, tell us a little bit about it.
So we are based in Bodmin, but we offer mental health wellbeing support across Cornwall. You can take part in wellbeing groups. We've got one-to-one peer support. We've got monthly drop-in groups and 5 ways to wellbeing groups.
So tell us a little bit more about the 5 ways to wellbeing.
So we offer a 6-week course for people to come along and I guess just take some time out to figure out what it is that they can do to help them stay well. So each week we look at one of the different 5 ways to wellbeing. We go across the county, so where there's a need, we book a room and we invite anyone in the community to come along, and we just hold a space and guide people to give them the tools that they need to stay well.
And what benefits are you finding from group work?
I think, the biggest benefit is for people to come along to the groups and realise that they are not alone, that there's other people in their towns, in their communities that are feeling the same way as them, and you watch them come in on the first day and not really sure who's around and what's going on. And then by week 6, people are leaving with new friendship groups, they're leaving with new hobbies, plans to try a new activity or reach out to family that maybe they haven't spoken to in a while. So you see them grow over the 6 weeks and put some things in place to help them stay well.
And I guess, for a lot of people who may want to or would benefit from the groups, they're probably quite isolated and maybe a little bit anxious. How can you help somebody kind of get over that anxiety of coming through the door? Because coming along on the first day is always the hardest.
It is. It's always the hardest. And we've got all our facilitators that work across Cornwall. Once we get the referral form in, we'll give them a ring and just introduce ourselves over the phone, talk them through what to expect, give them really clear instructions where we are. We'll go out into the streets and find them, meet them in a safe place and bring them along. So we, from the minute of the referral coming into us, we look after those individuals and make sure that they feel comfortable coming along.
And like I say, we're in Liskeard all day today, and you've got a peer support group running right here in Liskeard. Tell us about it.
Yeah, so down in the Liskeard Centre, we hold a group once a month that runs for a few hours, run by our lovely Caroline, and that's open to anyone that wants to come and check in with their mental health, their well-being. We take up sort of 15 people a group, come along and the conversation's led by individuals, really. What do you guys want to talk about? And we'll just hold that space, and it's peer support, so it's led by everyone in the group. We don't run a script for it. It's just how the room feels on the day, and we give any support that we can.
And there's lots of other things, like you say, you're doing the 5 ways to wellbeing, the peer support, but people can get involved in radio, podcasting, all sorts of other things.
Yeah, we've got a radio podcast that runs in Truro and Falmouth. We've got an art group that's running today in Newquay. We've got got a garden in Bodmin. We've got a singing group in Loo, which isn't too far from us in Liscard.
Do you have to be able to sing, Lorna? Can I come?
You can absolutely come. I've been once or twice and I cannot sing, so yeah, anyone is welcome. It's more about getting people together in the community to just have a bit of fun.
Brilliant. And if people want to find out a little bit more about what's going on for them with Cornwall Mind, where can they find you?
So if you go online to cornwallmind.org, all the information, all the services that we offer there, from our group work to our one-to-one work, and then the referral form links at the top of the page, and you can just get in touch and someone will be in contact soon.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much.
Thank
As I
you.
said, if you're out and about in Liscard, you want to find out more, come along to see us today. We're right in the centre of town, just up from the post office. Lorna's going to be here all day. She's got loads of information, so please do pop by.
NEWSWAVE.
Now, as the roadshow continued, Zara caught up with Darren from Man Down Cornwall, who talks candidly about men's mental health and the importance of peer support.
NEWSWAVE.
Talking about community support, I've got a wonderful community organisation here with me. The wonderful Darren from Man Down joins us. Hi, Darren.
Hi, Zara. Thank you for having me, as always. It's great to be here again.
You are very, very welcome. You're huge friends of ours here at Chaos, and you do wonderful work. But for anybody who might not know about Man Down, tell us about it.
Yeah, of course, Zara. So Man Down is a peer support group that offer meetings across the whole of Cornwall for men aged 18 up to any age. And what we are offering is a safe, non-judgmental, clinical environment for them to come into, to share and to talk. Because as we know, men don't talk about their issues.
And why do you think that is? I mean, you work with a lot of guys, the same as I do on the People in Mind projects. And what are your feelings around why men are finding it so difficult?
I think it's partly to do with the way men are raised. We've always been raised to be the hunters and gatherers, to be strong. We don't, not to show emotion, not to really talk about their problems. I mean, when they go out, for example, a lot of men just go to the pub and they rely on things like alcohol to help numb whatever they're feeling. The difference is, for example, with men compared to ladies have a lot of their girlfriends and they will go out and have coffee mornings and have chats and everything like that, whereas men don't really talk. When they hang out, it's about football or whatever, cars, motorbikes, those type of things. They don't think about their mental health. And what we're trying to do is to reduce the male suicide rate across the UK and in Cornwall. We were founded in Cornwall. We are a Cornish organisation. And male suicide is the biggest killer in men under the age of 50. And we're trying to reduce that. 82 men a week take their lives to suicide. And they don't realise how easy the simple things can impact their mental health and suddenly make you crash and explode in that way.
And, a lot of the men that I work with, it's life events, breakdown of relationships, not being able to see their children as often as they'd like. All these things, not maybe earning the money they would have, they were expecting, or not being able to work. I mean, having a huge impact on our men.
Yeah, it is. And I mean, you've got to think in Cornwall here, more and more of our industries that keep these men working and in employment and everything are going. Cornwall itself financially isn't a wealthy county, and we've got farmers out there who are struggling to make money, and we've got people who used to work in the clay industry, especially around the area where we are today in the clays, where more and more pits are being closed, where in the past that was a job for life. Now you don't know if it's going to be open. So yeah, the simple things take an impact on everything, like you've said. It's not just that, you see it a lot with university students or anything, pressures of exams, pressures to succeed, to do something, not being happy, the appearance, the way you look as a man as well, especially in this day and age where everything is filtered. If you don't look a certain way, you can think, well, I'm not really worthy because I don't look like that person on Instagram. I don't look like that fitness influencer. I don't look like that actor. And that can take a massive pressure on yourselves.
Absolutely. So when people come to Man Down, like you say, it's a peer support group, what can they expect because I'm sure there's lots of men out there who may have thought about it but don't really know what to expect when they walk through your door, Darren.
So what you can expect when you walk through our door is a welcoming bunch of guys. Now, all the facilitators that lead the meetings have experienced or had problems with their mental health or still going through their journeys. And we have lived experience. Everything that we have is lived. It isn't book read or book learnt. We don't claim to be psychiatrists, therapists or anything like that. We're not medically trained. What we are a bunch of normal guys who are here to listen and support you. So when you walk into your meetings, you'll see a wonderful bunch of guys. There's tea, there's coffee, there's a welcoming environment. Yes, we'll be talking about serious subjects, but there's also laughter and that feeling of actually it's quite nice to go out and have a chat and a laugh with like-minded guys. We also say you don't have to talk if you don't want to, because the hardest step is to walk through those doors. And if you don't feel like you're quite ready to open yet, you don't have to. You can just sit there.
And that's really important, isn't it? You know, that you take from it, you know, you get involved and you participate or engage as much as you feel able to, especially on those first couple of times that people come to you.
Yes, you've got to feel comfortable, especially because you're talking about things you've potentially never spoken to anyone about, to a bunch of strangers. And often it's a lot easier to talk to a bunch of strangers than it is your loved ones, because you're worried about what they're going to feel and think and make you feel like you're weak or inferior because you're not a man. You know, it takes a bigger man to be able to come in those doors and to say, hey, I'm hurting, than it does to bottle it up, because all that does is intensify those feelings and emotions.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you say, you know, you'll be welcomed with a great bunch of guys who've got lived experience. You won't be on your own. There'll be other guys going through or have been through the same things, more than likely. And Man Down, we're not going to list off where you are because you're nearly in every town across the county.
Yes.
Which is absolutely brilliant. There will be a Man Down group near you.
Yes.
Where can people find out where the closest group is, Darren?
If they go to our website, for example, mandowncornwall.co.uk, we have our website where we list every single date. We are in places St Austell, Truro, Penzance, Newquay, Bodmin, all across the county. You'll find
Bude, Liscard.
Yes,
the list goes on.
Everywhere. We're also across the UK now. We are expanding rather rapidly. So we are in Devon, for example. We have meetings in Inverness. We have meetings in Worcestershire. We've got a meeting in London. We're all over the UK now as we expand to show more and more support across the men that need it, not just here in Cornwall but across the UK.
And that's absolutely fabulous. One last thing, Darren, if there's a man out there who's never been to Man Down before and is thinking about it, what advice would you give to them?
Just go. Swallow that pride that you may have, and you've most probably walked around the block about 100 times before you walk in those doors. Just do it. Just go through those doors, because there are guys there who are willing to help and to listen and support you no matter what you're feeling.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much. As I said, Darren and a couple of the guys from Man Down are here for the rest of the day, and they will be joining us in St Austell, which we'll tell you more about as we go through the week on Friday. So if you want to find out more, come down today or come along on Friday, or just look up their website, Man Down. There is a group near you. Go and say hi. Just give it a go. You've got nothing to lose.
NEWSWAVE.
Staying with the People in Mind project, we now hear from Alison, part of the team here at the Chaos Group, who shares her reflections on the programme and why community connection really matters.
NEWSWAVE.
You're with Zara Shoesmith this Tuesday morning. Welcome along to Chaos Radio. I'd like to say a big shout out to Chuck. Hi Chuck, thank you for your message. He's messaged in for the mooch down memory lane. I'm not going to read it out, Chuck, because you've definitely got one right there, but have a guess at the other two. Go on, give it a stab. I reckon you can do it. But as part of Mental Health Awareness Week, we are here in Liscard all day, and I've got my lovely colleague Alison with me. Hi, Alison.
Hi, Zara.
How are you doing?
I'm really well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Now, I've dragged you in from out on the street where you're talking to people about the support that you offer on the People in Mind project for Chaos.
That's right.
But not just the people on the street. Here at Chaos Radio, we want to know what you do as well.
What I do? Well, I support the people of Cornwall, and we mainly look at the mental health of men in the fishing, farming and the construction industry. And we do that because they are more likely to need the support, but they don't ask for it. Mm-hmm. And we want to give them their voice and help them and support them. And that goes with everybody, though. It's not just men.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You know, like you said, we focus on the high-risk categories for men because, shockingly, you know, they're 3 times more likely to find themselves in crisis and 3 times less likely to come forward and ask for help. Yeah. So that's why doing these sort of events is really important to go out and reach them, isn't it?
Definitely. And you're surprised how many people just don't know that there is support around. So when you get talking to people, they didn't even know that we were around. We know that it's about, and we're on media, social media, and you know the radio. But you're surprised how easily it's missed by others, or people don't really realise that they could actually benefit from just talking to somebody. I think a lot of people still assume that support comes in the variation of sitting in a room in a circle with other people, which doesn't work for everybody. So we can adapt to them people individually, and it's been welcomed.
So what does the support from you look like? You said there's a lot of talking. Obviously, sometimes people just need somebody to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, it varies. We have people who just want to talk, go for a coffee, go for a walk, help them get back into their social activities that they've maybe stopped doing. I personally do a lot of well-being and self-care, so that might even look like how they eat. I hear like a lot of men, they say they're too busy work and they eat a lot of ready meals, which makes them feel quite down, and it's not healthy. So I will make the time and I will go and batch cook with them, and we make our own ready meals that we put in the freezer. We learn how to make like healthier snacks, and it's not about changing their whole lifestyle. It's just about doing little bits that can, you know, help them a little bit, and that's been really positive, and they've actually really enjoyed doing that.
And it's a lot of proactive support by the sounds of it.
Yeah, definitely. I love being hands-on with people. I don't just like to kind of go, oh yeah, go look over that way. It's like, what can we do? Even if it seems really small, it can have a really big impact.
And why do you love what you do, Alison?
I love what I do. Well, I've always been in care. I've been in care probably over 17 years now. I just love supporting people. I love giving them that opportunity to kind of live their life to the fullest. Just giving them tools to go, you can do it and you are good enough.
That's a fantastic message. Thank you very much. Like I say, we are in Liscard all day, and Alison will be joining me for the roadshow for the rest of the week as well. So if you want to find out more about what Alison does, please do come and find us. Head over to our socials if you want to know where else we are.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, rounding off our roadshow coverage for this week, Craig from the Southwest Skills Academy joins Zara to share how they're helping promote positive mental health and upskilling opportunities side by side.
NEWSWAVE.
But right now I've got the lovely Craig from Southwest Skills Academy with me. Hi, Craig.
Hello, Zara. How are you? You right?
Yeah, I'm pretty good, thank you. Thank you for giving up your time and coming down to Lemon Key and joining us today.
Thank you for inviting me.
But tell us a little bit about Southwest Skills Academy.
Okay, so Southwest Skills Academy are a training provider based in Cornwall, and we offer a range of courses. We work with Cornwall College to offer training across a range of different sectors, but today here to talk about, we've got a few different mental health courses that we offer.
And it's really important to upskill either the workforce or people on mental health. What type of people are taking up the offer of the course?
Honestly, a huge range of people. We've got people looking to get back into work, employers looking to offer it to their staff, people looking to just do CPD, so professional development. There's a complete range of different people doing these courses.
And they all are at a level 2 certification?
Yes, that's correct.
So what does that mean?
So level 2 is at the same level as GCSE level. So that's to give an idea of the standard that it would be at. So it offers like a nice introduction into some of these courses. So we have courses in things such as counselling skills, which people do the level 2 to start and then progress on to higher level qualifications after.
And like you say, you've got the counselling course level 2. You've also got mental health first aid and mental health awareness.
Yes, yeah, I've got both of those, and also a mental health in the workplace and a understanding children's mental health as well.
And I mean, in a workplace, having some staff qualified as a mental health first aid or a mental health in the workplace is really important, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Just so people can understand what's going on with their staff and can empathise and be able to offer them the right support and help, really.
I know when I've often talked to employers, they don't always feel equipped or trained to deal with mental health issues their staff might be having. But the good thing about doing this course is it's like first aid. It just helps you to understand it a little bit and then to kind of get extra help if you need to.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got a few different companies on the estate we work, actually. One such as quite a large plumbing company, and they approached us and was like, it's huge now in their industry. They're getting pushed that they need somebody to be able to understand what's going on around mental health. So we've trained some of their staff, so they've now got mental health trained staff.
And the good thing about these courses is they can be done anywhere. They are distance learning, so you can take the workbooks at home if your employer doesn't want to kind of take up work time, but they can be done anywhere. And also, the other great thing is they are funded.
Exactly, yeah. So provided you meet the funding criteria, which is the vast majority of people do meet, it's fully funded, and like you said, it's designed to be done in your own time from home. You've got that flexibility that you don't have to be going to a college if you don't want to.
Fantastic. Well, thank you again for coming down and joining us today. If people want to find out more about Southwest Skills Academy, where can they find you?
So our website is www.southwestskillsacademy.co.uk, and that has my contact information on there, but also a list of information on all of the different courses we offer.
NEWSWAVE.
Now, back in the Chaos Radio studio, Cheryl Gordon was joined by a rising star from the local music scene, singer-songwriter Beth, known online as Voice from the Wild. Beth talks about building a loyal fan base through TikTok lives, her creative inspirations, and her passion for writing music that really connects.
NEWSWAVE.
Hello, I'm Cheryl Gordon. I'm very pleased to welcome Beth from Voice from the Wild to Chaos Radio. Beth is a singer-songwriter who has produced some life experience songs that brings to the community of people together with the power of music and social media. Good afternoon, Beth. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Thank you for allowing your sort of like precious holiday time and coming to Chaos Radio today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
It's been like, I've been very excited for the last few months for you coming to Chaos, and I'm one of these people that literally tunes into your social media, watches you on TikTok.
I know.
And this is like, now a mind-blowing experience to be able to meet you in person. It's amazing.
Oh, it's lovely to meet you in person. Thank you for having me here at this incredible space.
Let's go with just a few questions that I sort of came up with. One of my first questions is, because I see you most days with your guitar, and you play it very beautifully. Tell me, when did you first pick up your guitar, and why a guitar?
So my parents both played guitar when I was growing up, so I'm used to being around that sound and music of that kind. But for my 18th birthday, they bought me my guitar, or was it it might be my 16th birthday actually. They bought me that guitar. So the guitar I use now is the only guitar I've ever had and owned, and I adore it. So I learnt it because it was something that they could teach me. So I didn't need lessons because they knew the basic chords. So since I was 16, so what's that, nearly 20 years?
That's scary when you think about it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I remember in my early childhood playing a guitar. I'm not very, very good at
it.
Did
you?
So, yeah.
Yes, Cheryl.
Again, acoustic guitar, not metal strings, because I know you're not a fan of metal strings, are you? We talked about this before.
My fingers are too delicate for steel strings, so I have to have nylon.
Yeah.
Nylon is, for me, it's actually an acoustic classical. So I don't think I use it in the right way at all, but it seems to work for me. Yeah.
That's the most important factor.
Exactly.
You have written several songs now. And to me, this is how I see this, and I'm hoping that you do too. What inspires you to write the types of song that you write?
God, Cheryl, mostly heartbreak, to be honest. So I started writing when I was, I think 15 was the first song I ever wrote, which was a Christian song for my dad for church. But I think actually the reason I write songs is not for them to be played anywhere. The reason I write songs is for me to process the emotions that I'm not able to process any other way. So it's always been like a therapy thing for me. The fact that now I get to share them with other people and it helps them too is like, blows my mind, because that's never the point was always, I write the song, and in it being written, it's done its job. Do you get what I mean? It was never to then play again. It was just to write, to process, and then move on.
How does that make you feel now, the fact that the songs that you wrote for yourself is literally having an effect on, in such an incredibly positive way, to other people as well now?
I don't know what to even think. I don't know how to begin to process that. Like, the fact that music I have written can impact or make someone else feel something and potentially help them heal something is, blows my tiny little mind. I'm just really grateful for it, that happens. I use music for that. So the fact that it can help other people to do that too is... Well, it's lovely, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful to think that it's like, it's almost a bit like a Mexican wave in a way, isn't it? You know, one person starts it and it cascades to a lot of other people as well. So having that effect
ripples,
on other people,
isn't it?
It's brilliant. Ripples.
Ripples.
I like that idea. Ripples.
Yeah.
It's a much cooler way of looking at it. So you generally go live on TikTok twice a day, playing your music and some covers, and you create a very open space within your lives. What is the main aim in your lives, and is it to showcase your music, or is it more?
No, I think we were just talking earlier, weren't we, about I never intended to go live. So when I first started TikTok, I was doing a thing called a year of good things. So every day I was trying to find something small that was good in my day, and I shared a video of it on TikTok. That's the only reason that my TikTok really started. And at some point throughout that year, I had a notification to say, you can now go live, because I'd reached enough followers or whatever. And in my evenings, what I do to process my day and just relax is play music on my guitar. So I just pressed go live and I did music in the way that I would just do in my evening anyway. How it's got to here, I actually have no idea. There was no intent behind it. I didn't want to necessarily do lives. Like that wasn't really a thing. But the fact that it's got here is incredible. And being able to give people just a little dollop of peace in their day is actually all the intention is. So whether that's through music or the conversations that we have or the comments that you give to each other, I feel like all I do is allow the space to be there. It's all of you that create the actual space. You know, I'm like the host of the space. You and how you interact and the way that you talk to each other and the love that is in there is created by you all. Like that wouldn't be there. It wouldn't be what it is without you all. So now it's just become a music, chatting, little dollop of love in your day, hopefully, is the plan.
Right, this is the best bit so far, I think, that's happened to you. So you've been given a wonderful opportunity to get yourself a laptop now and to create more recordings of your music. How does it feel? What does it look like for you?
I don't think I've ever been fully speechless in my life, but getting that MacBook was one of the moments that felt like that. People have said to me for a long time that they want to contribute to what I am trying to do because I have a full-time job. TikTok is not my job. I don't earn money from it. It's not a finance generator. You know, that's not the point of it. So I created a thing where people could contribute as little or as much as they wanted to help with the setup of things. So a microphone, a little studio setup thing, a MacBook, which I thought would take years and years and years, and has not taken years and years and years. So to be able to have the facility and the equipment to create the quality of music that the wildlings on my TikTok deserve to hear is the most incredible thing. And I think that something that I feel the most gratitude for ever, that I've been enabled to be able to provide music of a quality that you deserve, because a voice note on an iPhone is lovely.
Oh yeah, of course it is.
But
personal, isn't it?
It's not really, you know, and having the equipment now means I can do as many songs as I want. And I said to you before, I'd like to start with doing like a lullaby album. A lot of people struggle with their sleep. The first challenge is going to be that, I think.
I think when you've got extra tools to to make things happen, it can make a massive difference to how you think and feel as well. I think it's so important to think that you've got that opportunity now and to grasp it with both hands and go for it and take it to the next level, I reckon.
It's the yes year, Cheryl, isn't it?
It's the yes year. That's why Beth's here, everybody.
Yeah.
Could you tell us about where we can find you?
Yes. Mainly on TikTok. So my TikTok name is Voice from the Wild. It's the same on Instagram, although I'm not very active on Instagram. But TikToks, I go live every day at about 8:15 and 5:15-ish UK time every day.
There you go. Beth has been here with us today. We're so lucky. We thank you once again for coming and spending some time with us. This is Beth, Voice from the Wild. Please do check out her music on her socials at Voice from the Wild on TikTok. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
NEWSWAVE.
Right, I'm Tom Howe and you're listening to NEWSWAVE here on Chaos Radio. It's time to celebrate 20 incredible years of Young and Talented Cornwall, an organisation helping young people across the county achieve their dreams by removing social, financial and physical barriers. With nearly 500 recipients supported and over £500,000 awarded since 2005, this fund has helped launch the careers of young scientists, artists, writers, sports people and much more besides. Meah Howlett sat down with Programme Coordinator Sarah Waller and Spirit of Trevithick Award recipient Isla to hear more.
NEWSWAVE.
Oh, it was such an exciting event. It was extraordinary. The Duchy nursery that hosted us and supported us, they made such a fantastic job of welcoming us into the nursery. There was beautiful food, beautiful sunshine, and lots of happy faces and smiling parents. It was absolutely joyous.
I wonder for you, I don't know how long you've been with Young and Talented, Sarah, but I wonder whether there's any memories for you with the time that you've spent with them so far.
I feel like I've only been with them for a very short amount of time. It's been nearly a year and a half now. But I know, having looked at some of our archives and hearing about the stories from our trustees and our supporters, that we've got some extraordinary young people that have now, over that 20 years gone on to do spectacular things. We've had recipients such as Helen Glover, who went on to be an Olympian. We've got Molly Cowdery. We've had para athletes. We've got extraordinary young people who've been part of this journey, and I'm really looking forward to the next 20 years of what Young and Talented will bring.
Yeah, that's such an amazing legacy. And I was wondering, can you remind us all about what Young and Talented Cornwall do?
Young and Talented is exactly what it says on the tin, to be honest. It supports young people across all sorts of talents, ranging from sports and athletics through to arts, creative writing, performance. We've now even got an award which is called the Spirit of Trevithick, which is focused on science, technology, engineering and maths. And it supports young people aged between 14 and 23. They have to be living or be based in the county. We try and make our sort of support work really hard. So we're part of Cornwall Community Foundation. We're aware that the cost of living and challenges of living in Cornwall is quite considerable. So we really are there to try and support young people's dreams, no matter where they're from or what their talent is.
It's just incredible work that you do. And I know, as you said, you've mentioned there's different awards that people can go for. Can you tell us which ones are open at the moment, and if you have any advice for those young people when they're applying for these awards?
Well, excitingly, they're all open at the moment. We have 3 strands. So we've got our All Talent one, which is, as I say, all of those things to do with athletics and sports and arts. We've got a Creative Writing Award, and we've got a STEM Award. Now, the Creative Writing Award and the STEM Award are very unusual in that not only do they have a cash award that goes alongside them, but we offer mentoring with some extraordinary people in Cornwall. Either if the Creative Writing Award, it's authors or writers that are connected with Cornwall, but it supports everything from political journalism right through to film and plays, as well as novel writing, poetry. And our mentors range from people like extraordinary people like Will Menmuir and Patrick Gale, and it's headed up by by Philip Marsden. So he's the curator of our award. And our STEM award is headed up by an extraordinary man called Ian Jones, who's an MBE, who until recently was the head of Goonhilly. And he supports our steering panel, looking at those recipients for awards right across everything from, young people with an interest in marine biology, engineering, geology. And again, that mentoring, as well as the cash award, is absolutely vital. The cash awards, I mean, this is the whole part about it, which is quite extraordinary. They range from £1,000 with our Creative Writing Award, with £150 worth of books, which is amazing. And then also, if you're one of our Spirit of Trevithick recipients, you can get up to £2,000.
Isla, I know that you're a Spirit of Trevithick recipient. I wonder, tell me a little bit about, why you applied and what support you're hoping to get from them.
So I'm really interested in wildlife conservation medicine. So the kind of combination and kind of links between veterinary science and wildlife conservation. Yeah, that's kind of where my interests lie. I'm hoping to kind of find a mentor to kind of explore the opportunities for kind of to be more deeply invested in a project. So locally, nationally, and maybe even internationally.
You touched upon there that obviously the goal was to work specifically in wildlife conservation medicine. I'd love to know, where did that passion come from? Because that's quite a specific sort of niche that you really want to go into.
Yeah, it's quite an unusual kind of aspect of veterinary science. I think because I've always grown up, in the countryside, surrounded by quite a lot of nature, I've kind of always had that as quite a big, important thing to my life. And I also love science. It kind of combined my two kind of passions in that kind of way. I think I've always wanted to help the planet and kind of feel that I'm contributing to help the planet. And I think rather than for me just working in a vet practice, which although I find fascinating, I want to feel like I'm contributing positively to kind of conservation as well. So kind of applying my skills to the wider world and helping. So, I mean, my dream would be to work with wild animals and, maybe even abroad in Africa at some point to work on a project, or in Costa Rica, and kind of have that kind of, experience of working with unusual and amazing animals and helping species, and saving that.
So for people that might consider applying as a recipient for one of these awards, do you have any advice sort of on the process or anything like that?
Just apply. Even if you're not sure you'll get it, definitely apply, because I didn't even fully understand what it was when I did apply, and I'm so glad I did. I think if you're really passionate about a subject, it will come through in your application. Everyone's so nice and they want to support you. It's not like a competition. They're supporting your ambitions. You don't have to necessarily have a future plan and know exactly what it is. If you've got a kind of broad area that you're interested in, like I do, and you just are passionate about that, that can just come through on its own, and it's just as important.
Yeah. Oh, that's incredible. Thank you, Isla. I know that would be helpful for people to hear. And I can see Sarah nodding along as you're speaking there. I really do feel that Young and Talented Cornwall, they are all about supporting you. But I can imagine, Sarah, obviously that passion, that is what you want to see in these applications, isn't it?
Absolutely. That is exactly what we want to see. I mean, what we recognise is that talent isn't always just academic. It's not always about getting grade 9s and everything. And actually, talent can magic itself in all sorts of ways. And I think one of the things that's really wonderful about the way that we assess, the way that we support, is that we know we're looking for that passion and that spark, that ability to really apply yourself to something. And, very often I had no idea what I wanted to do when I was Isla's age. Yeah. I had no idea what my life was going to be like. I just followed some of my passions and some of my dreams. And I think where our panel are recognising that for young people, we're able to see that coming through in their application forms. And very often, working with your mentor, working in all the sorts of situations that we're able to kind of unlock, means that you learn more about the sort of thing that you want to do and where you want to go. And I think, having that ability within Cornwall to have that generosity from lots of different people is what our young people need to build their confidence about a future in Cornwall and their part that they play in it. And I think that's Isla said it. She said, just apply. There is nothing wrong with just doing that. And again, if it's always something that if you don't get it quite the first time round, we can come back and go, what can we do to help? How can we support? It's never straight no. It's always let's reapply. What can we do?
Yeah. Oh, it just sounds like such a brilliant project. And Isla, I wish you all the best of luck with what you're going to do. I can already imagine you on like a David Attenborough type kind of documentary or something like that. So fingers crossed. Sarah, can you just, before we go, can you remind us how people can get involved and where they can find all the information that they need to know?
Absolutely. Well, we've got a website, so it's www.youngandtalentedcornwall.org, and they can get in touch with us through that website. And the application forms are there. They're in 3 lists: so creative writing, all talent, spirit of Trevithick. The closing dates are very clear on there, but the creative writing doesn't close right through. We've got right through to July. We've got lots of time. But if you wanted to get in touch and perhaps have a conversation, more than willing to have a talk about the sorts of things that we've been doing and how we can support young people. But it just takes one person. Again, also it could be a grandparent listening right now, could be a teacher listening right now, a parent. There's one person that goes, I know somebody for who this really, really is important, and be that one person that goes, okay, I'll just go and have a look on that website and see if I can encourage. That's all we need.
NEWSWAVE.
And finally this week, we're turning to an incredibly moving story of remembrance, of resilience, and of giving back to the community. Local men John and Dave are taking on the Ride for Precious Lives 2025, cycling over 200 miles on a tandem bike in memory of John's twin sons, Reuben and Bryn. Their journey is all in aid of Children's Hospice South West, whose support made a lasting difference during the boys' lives. I caught up with them to hear more about the challenge, the meaning behind it, and how we can all support the lads on their journey.
NEWSWAVE.
No, we've known each other for 20 years, and we met really through fishing.
Pretty much fishing.
It was, and so my wife has known John all her life. They're best friends, and said, "Oh, you'll get on well with John." And we got on well because we don't talk, and so we go fishing and spend hours standing next to each other, not talking, just fishing. And I used to come home and go, I really like John. He's a really nice man, isn't he?
But I don't know anything about him.
Don't even know what he sounds like.
She'd say, what do you talk about? Well, I didn't really. Yeah, so it's just through that we did some Tough Mudder things, runs together, assault courses. And it's just that sort of things, with this sort of companionship. And the fact that we don't have to talk has made us quite close.
The relationship has come this far, and you now feel strong enough in that relationship to go on a tandem bike ride together. Tell me about the challenge that you're taking on, why you're doing it, a bit of the logistics, all that kind of thing. Take me from point A to Z.
Well, doing it because it's raising money for Children's Hospice South West is very close to my heart, because I spent a lot of time at the hospice. I lost both of my twin sons there for a rare degenerative disease, and it's an amazing cause, and we're riding a tandem bike because my boys were twins, and it's kind of twin power, isn't it? Yeah, so we're going to do it together for Reuben and Bryn and raise as much money as we can.
Yeah, so we've got to go on a tandem, obviously, because of the twins. And John decided that this is what he wants to do. So come bursting in here one day, went, David, I need to cycle to Bristol and you're coming with me. I went, okay, when? It said July. All right, okay. Yeah, well, what do I need to do? And the sort of story started from there, really, or this adventure started from there. We needed a bike because I don't have a bike. So that was the first problem, sort of the first hiccup. And then it was the advertising. But again, because we're not very good at this, it was John's wife and mine both went, right, well, we'll do the advertising side of things. You just do the cycling.
Just get on your bike.
Yeah, you just get on your bike and cycle.
So this really is a grassroots kind of movement. Do you do much cycling? You said you didn't have a bike. Do you do much cycling? Have you got much cycling experience?
I cycle work every day.
Okay.
I'm a gardener and I work a few miles down the road. That's about it.
So you're not completely green to it. That's good news.
We'll be right.
Yeah, John does a lot of cycling, and so he's the engine room. So John's at the back. I'm steering it because John's got a tendency to drift off every now and then. So I'm steering it, but I do a lot of running, so I suppose I'm strong enough to sort of help him. And I think between the two of us, we'll get there. Yeah, I think we might go in a few hedges on the way, but
so it's all part of the fun, isn't it? What's the process now then? So you said you've started training. What does that look like?
So on an evening when we get back from work, it's just a couple of laps around the village or around the local area, just to keep our legs, get used to the movement of the bike.
Just keep building it up as we go, kind of thing. Just chucking in a few extra miles each day, and
the idea is to start doing Saturday mornings. If we set off now, we can get around to Falmouth and then get the foot ferry back, or we can then go to Newquay and back. And it's just to sort of start expanding the distance, because I think for the weekend we're doing it on the 11th, it will be in the saddle as such for 6, 7, 8 hours a day. I think we've got 115 kilometres a day to do or something.
Okay, so what does the journey look like? You set off from where and you finish where?
We set off from Little Harbour in St Austell or Porthpean, and our final destination is Fremington Farm in Bristol. There's the 3 hospices.
Children's, so you're going to all 3 of them?
We'll go through all 3, yeah. Obviously, Little Bridge House is the second one on the stop, and then Fremington Farm.
How can people follow your journey? How can they keep up? Are you doing updates throughout your training? Are you? Is this going to become a big sort of social media thing? Or
I think the idea, well, for a start, we've got a Just Giving page, as such, and that's where you can sort of help out, I suppose. And we've got posters around the village as well to help that. With regards to keeping up with us, the advertising side of our movements, again, is down to our wives, I think. I'm going to be taking photos and videos of us doing things throughout the day and then sending them to Kate or to Rianne. And then the idea is that I suppose it would be a Facebook page as such, or is that side of things is...
We're just worrying about getting there and doing it. That's absolutely fine.
We've got an advertising team behind us. They're just away this weekend, and so those answers I don't have, I'm afraid. But yeah, I'd like to be able to keep, even just on WhatsApp and stuff. It's just to let people know what we're doing, where we are, and I think it's a nice thing for people to be involved with. We've got an interest in myself and John, or in the hospice. There's 100 odd cyclists doing this. And so it's a big event, and I believe through their websites or through the hospice themselves, there will be updates on our movement as a group, as a peloton. Yeah, so it'd be through the Children's Hospice Southwest as well that the progress of the journey will be available, I think. And the hospital think it's quite funny, really, that we want to do it on a tandem, but they're obviously very supportive and very encouraging. I don't know. I think our children think it's daft, and
they laugh at us every day.
Yeah, my little girl thinks it's hilarious that we want to go on a tandem.
So she's had a go. Yeah, brilliant. So do you think you'll be the only 2 on a tandem?
There's two others.
Yeah, there are 2 other tandems. Yeah.
But I think we're the least professional outfit of the 3. But we'll have the most fun.
We'll have the most fun.
Absolutely. For people that might not be aware or haven't heard, can we just discuss the impact that places like those hospices make, the great work that they do? I wonder if you could just vocalise that for just anyone that's not aware, because it is. I've done the tours, I've worked really closely with them for a number of years now, and it is really incredible, and every family has a different story of how it impacted them.
Oh, they're just phenomenal. Like, they changed our lives completely. The way they cared and looked after the boys, and the break that it gave us when we were there, and we were there quite a lot. At Little Bridge House to begin with, because we used to have to travel 2 hours up to Barnstaple with the boys in an ambulance. But as soon as Little Harbour came on, it's 25 minutes down the road, and it was incredible. And it was just, what they do is amazing, and I don't know,
It just goes to show that so many people are fundraising for them as well, because they can see the impact and they want to be able to support more families going through difficult circumstances like that. But you guys get to do this incredible challenge along with so many people that have had their lives touched as well. And then in the future, all of that money goes towards such great care and, you know, provision for the staff as well, which is really important.
I think we're doing the fun side of things. We're doing the cycle, which is going to be great. It's going to be a good laugh. I really enjoy it.
It's going to be amazing. Yeah.
But it's not just us. Everyone else on the cycle. There's a so small percentage of parents on the cycle who've been affected or who have used the hospice. The vast majority of people, like myself, have been affected because we know someone or because we care about what goes on. And I think it's the more help we can give, the more help that those who are on the front line, so to speak, the nurses and such and consultants, the more help they can give. And I just think it's well worth doing, and it's well worth talking about and telling other people about, and just getting everyone involved with, because it all helps. Every penny helps, and it's that sort of thing. I just think it's fantastic. I'd cycle Scotland back. Yeah. I'd cycle around the world if it helps. But it helps the kids. It's just daft, isn't it? But I would. It's just brilliant.
Have you got a target in mind?
Well, as a minimum, I suppose, or as a modest start, we've got $2,500. Millions. Yes, millions would be.
Sky's the limit.
Yeah, absolutely, anything. But just fantastic. The more the better. But yeah, as a minimum, we've got $2,500.
Every pound helps, though, doesn't it?
But a friend of ours is a nurse in the hospice, and seeing how her job affects her personal life, because you can't help but to get affected by what you see working there. I would have thought. And you just think, if I can help her have a better or an easier day, helping those that she's working for, then it's worth it. Absolutely.
NEWSWAVE.
Okay, that's all we've got time for on this week's edition of NEWSWAVE. A big Chaos Radio thank you to Warwick Addison, Lorna from Cornwall Mind, Darren from Man Down Cornwall, Alison from Chaos, and Craig from Southwest Skills Academy, all part of the People in Mind Mental Health Roadshow, and of course to Zara Shoesmith too. Thanks also to Beth, aka Voice from the Wild, to Sarah and Isla from Young and Talented Cornwall, and to our cycling challengers John and Dave, supporting Children's Hospice Southwest. And of course, a final thank you to you for listening and helping support local journalism to thrive. To catch up on all our coverage and to explore our extensive back catalogue of interviews and shows, just head to chaos.radio. And remember, if you've got a local news story you'd like to share with us, email news@chaos.radio or search Chaos Radio UK on socials. That's it. You're up to date here on Chaos. I'm Tom Howe. Thank you so much for listening.
NEWSWAVE.
Chaos.radio. Music, podcasts, entertainment.